Last night I watched Spider-Man Brand New Day, the newest Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. For those who don't know the plot, this follows Spider-Man struggling in a world where no one remembers him. He has no family and his friends have moved on without him. So he continues to fight crime when suddenly something begins to happen, something begins to change within Spider-Man that could be his ultimate threat. But he may need this change in order to stop his biggest threat yet, which no one can see. That's the Letterboxd synopsis put it. One thing about this film, and I feel like this is a core problem, I'm going to say it's fatty. It's got too much fat on it. I feel like there's a lot that we could cut out, make it a much more lean film, focus on some more important stuff. Focus on, again, Peter's relationship to his friends that he's lost. Focus on the struggles that he's going through and the depression that he's feeling in this film. I feel like there was some time we could focus more on that, but instead we were shoehorning in some other stuff. Scorpion was great, but he was kind of just a one-note thing. I feel like we could have... this guy's been teased since Homecoming. I feel like we could have maybe used him more, but instead he only really gets 2 scenes. You have, spoiler warning, you have Tombstone. He's in it for maybe 20 seconds. They do a montage with some homages to some old Spider-Man covers. And then obviously from the trailer you have The Hand, which, again, I don't know much about The Hand, but again, I feel like they were kind of underutilized. I feel like for them being this big crime syndicate, they were just kind of pushed aside and just made as Spider-Man cannon fodder at the end when he's wiping them out. So I just feel like we just shoehorned some stuff in just to have it there, which obviously you're going to have that with every Marvel movie. Every Marvel movie is a part of something bigger than it is. So you need to set up things, you need to establish things and call back to things. But I just feel like this could have been a really lean movie, and we just added a lot of unnecessary fat to it at times. We could have cut the time down a little bit. We could have cut some things that maybe slowed the story a little bit. I thought this was a really great identity film. The identity of Peter Parker trying to balance the two identities, both the Spider and the Man. As he's trying to put all his effort into just being Spider-Man, but as the film goes on, he realizes he can't be just the Spider. He has to be the Man as well. He has to be Peter Parker along with Spider-Man. So I thought that was really interesting, seeing Spider-Man's arc, kind of accepting that he has to be both, which this is definitely a great performance from Tom Holland. Tom Holland is the highlight of the film. He's the best part, which is what you want from your main character. He gives a really great performance along with majority of the other actors within this film, especially Zendaya and Jon Bernthal as Punisher. I wasn't really expecting much from Punisher. I haven't watched the Daredevil show or the Punisher show. I was familiar with Jon Bernthal's Punisher, but I had never really gone too much into it. But his relationship with Spider-Man in this film was really great, as they contradict each other in their morals. But as we see Spider-Man, if he continues down this route of isolation and not taking care of himself and not finding that balance between his two halves, he'll end up just like Punisher. I feel like we could have explored MJ and Peter a little more. We explore that a good amount in the middle of the film, and those are really great moments, really great scenes. But at the very end of the film, I feel like we could have maybe come back to it, maybe just touched on it a little more. I feel like there was more there that we could have seen. And again, this goes into this being a fatty film. I feel like we could have cut some things out and replaced that stuff with things that actually drove the narrative forward and drove Peter's arc forward and our other characters' stories forward. So I'm not going to spoil who Sadie Sink is, because the movie's just came out, so I don't want to spoil who she is. But for those who have seen it, you know who she is. I'm really conflicted. I don't know how to feel about her character and who she plays. She has great moments within the film, but it's a Marvel character I don't know much about, and I don't know. I wasn't like captivated by her performance and like the character and her motives and all that stuff. Like her motives made sense, but I wasn't like captivated. But again, I don't know a ton about the character she plays, so if I knew more about that character, maybe I'd feel different. I really like this film's exploration of depression, anxiety, suffering, misery, those types of negative feelings we feel in everyday life, and it picks some really great characters to show that. Obviously, Spider-Man is a character who's been miserable in the Marvel Comics forever, and just showing him trying to ignore it, trying to pour his entire self into being Spider-Man rather than dealing with the problems of Peter Parker is really interesting and really real for a lot of people. And you also have other side characters that I think have always been a representation of like depression and suffering within Marvel. Characters like the Hulk, characters like Punisher. These are all characters that have all dealt with suffering and misery in a way. I've seen a lot of people commenting on the color of this film. A lot of people don't like how it's a much darker color of a film, which I actually think it's great just because it mirrors Peter's life. Peter's life is terrible in this film. Peter's life is miserable. He has no one. He is going through active depression in this film. So I actually think the color works in this. They do great stuff with shadowing. Cinematography is really great. I do think there are some unnecessary slow-mos, which you're always going to have when having slow-mo. There's a lot of great slow-mo shots within this, like when he's using his spider sense, but there's also some slow-mo shots that just pull me out, which is always the risk that you take when using slow-mo shots. Recently, Marvel's been branching out to have more of a message to their films. It's not just about the superheroes anymore. There's something more to it. And this film is really an exploration of depression within superheroes, but also kind of just within real-life people. How people kind of push that away, ignore it, don't tell really anyone about it. When in reality, we need to talk about that stuff and we need to seek help from the people around us, which obviously that's a big thing for Peter because nobody remembers who he is. So that's what makes it such a challenge for him through this film. The movie's got a lot of great parts in it, and I think it's a good movie. But the way that some people were hyping it up, the way that I saw some of my friends talking about it before I watched it, the way I saw some other people talking about it, I was expecting more. Don't get me wrong, it's still a good movie, and I understand why people really, really love it. It's just for me, I think I was expecting a little more. I think we could have spent more time focusing on Spider-Man's problems, focusing more on MJ and Ned and just those sorts of stuff, rather than just some of the things we had within this film. Because again, the agenda to set more future projects up was definitely there, which that's always going to be there in Marvel. You know, that's always going to be there. That's never going to change. But sometimes that felt like a weight in this film. Like it was weighing down what could be a very great film rather than just a very good film. But again, if you like it, I completely understand why I like it as well. I thought it was very good. Some people think it's very great. All in all, even with the problems that I've found within this film, I still think it's a solid movie, and I still think you should go see Spider-Man Brand New Day in theaters while you can. I want to thank you for watching my review. Please like, subscribe, watch some other videos of mine, and I will see you in the near future.